Hi everybody, today I'm here with Storm Law, who's in the process of converting and changing herself and her career movement so that she can be of service more to the people in through health and wellness, through being a dietitian and learning all that she needs to know about nutrition and how to help you through diet. So Storm, if you can tell us a little bit about yourself first of all, so that people can connect with you and who you are.
Yeah, okay, so I'm first and foremost a mum. I've got two beautiful children, a 17-year-old and a 12-year-old, so they're pretty much my life. Got a wonderful husband too, I shouldn't forget about him, but yeah, just that's probably that's on my calling card, I suppose. I've been on my own kind of track for quite some time now, trying to work out what I want to do in life, and I've come to the realization that it's always been about nutrition and food and health. So I've taken myself into university, and I'm not far from finishing my degree, and I'll be a nutrition and dietitian and be able to help people everywhere with whatever they need. I'll have all of the credentials and all of the expertise to do so.
Fabulous. So what made you decide to follow the path to study and become a dietitian?
So I myself have celiac disease, and I've always had lots and lots of problems with my health, and I've seen so many people and spent so much money and got nowhere, and just pretty much went on a big circle. Finding things that didn't work was probably the best thing that I did. I didn't find anything that did work for me. So I probably just starting to listen to myself and just be guided to where I wanted to go. And then I thought, if I can work this out for myself, then I can work this out for other people. So I want to be able to stop people from doing the same cycle that I did, and just finding health and wellness without having to take years and years and years to do so.
Fabulous.
Sorry.
Is that your cat that just joined us there? How lovely.
I just wanted some screen time.
Animals always bring us joy, do they not? Okay, so I just want to point out, because you spoke about two wonderful children. One of them is actually with us. Tyson is your boy, isn't he?
Yes.
Oh, that's fabulous. Okay, so as you're obviously a very nurturing person, and through your own example are helping others to care for themselves and learning how to do that really effectively. So what do you believe your strengths to be within you?
Yep. So I personally, I feel like I'm quite strong-willed, and know that if anything's in front of me, I can tackle it. I can get through it. There is another side, even though sometimes you might think that it's too hard to get to that side. That definitely, from my experience, it's there. It's achievable. I also think, I am very empathetic. I really do care about people. I really do want to see the best in people come out, and yeah, I think that would probably be the strongest points that I have.
Yeah, fabulous. So you want to, as you said there, bring out the best in other people and assist them in other people. How will you best be able to help other people through what you're learning to do now, and help them to move forward in the best way for them?
Yeah, so I'll be able to help them individually. So it won't be just a try this, try that. Like if I can speak to someone and we can really nut into what is their issues and what they want to achieve, and then we can work together to come up with a plan to make that achievable, to make it happen, for them to achieve their goals.
Yeah, okay. So we're kind of going to go into the depths of your knowledge already on the nutrition and dietitian side. From your own experience, how does having the correct foods for you and healthy foods improve the way that you're able to function as opposed to just putting everything in your body? Because most people don't know the importance of nutrition in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. So for myself, I suffer really quite badly from like what I call brain fog and fatigue. So if I'm eating the wrong things, I just can't think clearly. I can't make decisions on point. I can't retain information, and just a general feeling of just unwell. Like I can't get out. I love to do CrossFit. I try and do that, 5 or 6 times a week, and be able to find the motivation, well, not even find the motivation, but just to go, okay, I'm going today as a habit, rather than, oh, I need to get dressed, I need to do this. So if I'm not feeling well, if I haven't been looking after my body with my nutrition, that's when I know, because I start to just get tired, and then all of my reading goes down, and all of my retaining information just doesn't happen. I have to read the same sentence 5 times before I understand what it's saying. So I just feel well. I just feel it's just a sense of wellness. I'm happy. I'm wanting to go out and socialize and be around people instead of hide in my little corner.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, because it's having that energy and the vitality to do what we want to do that is important. And there's so many people out there that are tired on a daily basis but don't understand why, and can quite often be down to the nutrition and the food that they're not eating.
Yeah.
Rather than,
yeah
the
body's trying to process that it shouldn't really need to have that much, or what it is, or too much, or wrong ratio. That makes sense.
Yeah. So what actually is your health journey then, and how has food helped you so people can connect with what it can do?
Yeah, so for me, it's all about gluten, because it's something I can't have. My body reacts to it. It makes me really sick. I'm part of a big group that we share and our experiences with celiac disease. So really, that instance is where I want to help people, because I know that there's so much misinformation out there. People don't know enough about the disease. And I want to link that with the gut health, because I find that incredibly interesting, because the gut and the brain, they're completely connected. So much research coming out about that. So I just want to help people from the get-go, help themselves, rather than end up in that state where they're feeling horrible and unwell and sick and tired. And if we can prevent it from getting that far, then that would be ideal for me. I'd really love to be able to help people not end up at the end where I've been, and I don't want to go back.
Because you've really got to the nitty-gritty in that part there, the way the digestive system and the brain are almost interconnected, and how your digestion is functioning affects totally how your thought processes are coming through. So if you have like a sluggish digestive system, you have a sluggish brain, don't you? So can you go a little bit more into that so people can understand the connection, so that they know the importance even more of it?
I don't know exactly. I'm not 100% on this, because it's not something I've followed, because I'm still in exam mode at the moment. So I'm focusing on what's needed for my exams. But I do know that we're talking about the vagus nerve that goes from the stomach straight up to the brain. I know there's hormones that are interconnected between the neurons and what's going on in the cells in your stomach. But unfortunately, that's as far as I know of the gut-brain connection, because I haven't researched it as much as I'd really like to. But that's definitely something that'll be coming when I have a spare moment.
Yeah, cool. Because this is a little bit of what I've done as well in my study. So Yeah, so it's I find it fascinating as well, because everything obviously is all about, initially begins with your hygiene, everything goes into your mouth. So it's how basically you care for everything about you, really, from the foods you, from the moment the food goes in your mouth. So so basically, as everything is breaking down, nutrition is coming out and helping your body. If you're having good foods, the more healthy the foods, the more kind of, I'm sure you'll back me up on this, the importance of possibly having homegrown vegetables and things like that as much as possible for the organic and health and everything else.
Absolutely. That's all about the nutrition, all the minerals and the micronutrients that can be lost in farmed food. Absolutely. There's a lot of evidence about that.
Yeah.
It's not as rich as it should be, and that's coming through into the plants that we're eating. And yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So would you recommend then that people should, even if they've got a flower bed or something, if they don't want to dig up the garden, that they put in something that they can grow for themselves, so that they have that organic nutrition?
Yeah, I would absolutely recommend that, and I find it relaxing. That is my Sunday morning ritual, is going out and pottering in my vegetable plants. And I find just being out with the plants, even if I'm just moving them around or just touching them, it actually really relaxes me. It's my morning wind down from the busy week that I've had. Yeah. Yeah, on a mental health issue, on a area, I would say absolutely be out in that garden, be out with the plants, be out in the grass. But then, yeah, definitely growing your own, you can see it from the get-go. And there's so many things saying if you can get your kids involved in that too, and they can see how the actual food system starts and goes through, and it's not just coming from a shop. It's actually, this is how you do it, this is how you care for it. And then they have a bit more appreciation for food and nutrients as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's important, all in the part of nurturing as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Passing on what you know. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the busy times.
Yeah, absolutely. So what can you tell us about fermented foods and how they affect us, and what you know about that?
Again, I'm not hugely knowledgeable about this. I do know that it's all about the bacteria that it's creating, and it's also doing it in not just in your stomach, but also in your whole intestine, in the small bowel, large bowel. Yeah, so again, I know it's beneficial. There's a lot of things to show that the fermentation is really good at the moment, and we've got so much around too that it's just becoming a bit more known too. But that's definitely something I want to look into, because I have quite a few friends that are doing classes or actually facilitating classes, and they're probably better to ask than me. That's actually something I don't know too much about.
Okay, cool. Fabulous. So on this topic, what is your raison d'etre? What is your thing that you know most about right now that you can share with us?
Okay, it'd definitely be a gluten-free diet. I know what you can eat, what's good for you, what is lacking in most gluten-free diets. Yeah, that would be, because I've been that for 20 odd years now. So not only knowing it from a dietitian perspective, I know it from personal life.
Yeah. Can you explain that for us, what it was for you, the process of that, and the right foods for that, so people can begin to connect with your awareness of what you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So gluten is just a protein that's found in many grains. For people with celiac disease, it reacts in the small intestine, and there's little villi that in your intestine that take the nutrients out of your food. with celiac disease, it makes those inflamed and it ends up destroying them pretty much. So you don't get all the nutrients and you can become malnourished. There's a lot of things part of that. So the only way to not cure, but to get around this is to not have gluten in your diet. So gluten's found in barley, it's found in oats, which is another topic because only some people react to it. It's found in wheat, it's found in rye. So you pretty much need to avoid all of those ingredients, which can be really quite tricky in a lot of processed foods, a lot of anything that you buy from the shops pretty much can have that as a thickener because gluten is used as a thickener in foods. So on a gluten-free diet, many people will just either go with all of their processed gluten-free foods, which then if you're taking gluten out, it needs to have something else to be put in to replace it, which is often sugar. It's often different thickeners. So you're often losing a lot of nutrients by having the processed gluten-free foods. And people often don't have enough fiber in their diet when they go off all of this food as well. So it kind of always comes back to having balanced diet. So you need to have heaps of veg, but you also need to make sure that that fiber is included in your diet. And there's plenty of places you can get that from, like rice and the gluten-free. Nowadays, the bread is actually quite delicious. Back when I was diagnosed, it was disgusting, and so we've made huge advances in treatment for us now in our foods. And there's heaps of yummy foods that you can make as a treat too that my daughter normally makes for me because she's a bit of a mini baker, so she loves to get in and try and make me some treats because we're all a bit of sweet tooths over in this household.
Oh, lovely. Fabulous. Yeah. Carry on.
No, I was going to say, I hope that's that answers.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
It does. So, in regards to your ability to help others right now, what can you do for them right now? And when will you be able to cover the whole spectrum of what you're doing, so that they know what they can contact you for? Yeah. Did you not hear me?
So sorry, my wife. Really, did you say what can I do now before I graduate until I can actually?
Yeah, so what can you do now and when will you be able to help people with everything so they know what they can come to you for at this moment in time?
Yeah, absolutely. So I can give general advice on a healthy diet. I can give personal experience for dealing with celiac disease, how to live a life with that, because some people find it quite a shock when they're given the diagnosis when it really doesn't need to be. There's plenty of things. It's still, there's many more things in life that can be detrimental to your life rather than just avoiding, a protein in a grain. And then I finish next year. And I'll be a qualified dietitian by the end of next year. And then I can help everybody. So I can help people with any kind of disease states. I can help people in hospital. I can help people, any person with any kind of disease. I'll be qualified to provide information and help with them.
Awesome. So, and this is wonderful because more people than I realize do suffer with celiacs. So it's quite common actually. So I'm sure as well as the knowledge you can give them now, you can simply be a wonderful support system for them right now as well, and just be that listening ear and help them just through listening and perhaps bringing them together so they can share with each other too.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got quite a few connections, being as though it's been quite some years that I've had it. So I have got a lot of friends that I've made friends with because we've shared this disease together. So absolutely. Know the ins and outs of it.
Wonderful, because when you have some of these conditions like celiacs, quite often when you go out with friends and things to restaurants, it can be very difficult, can't it, to find something that you can eat comfortably and not have effects from, which needs awareness drawing to it as well, because of how widespread celiac is becoming.
Yeah, and it can be really, you can feel quite selfish when you're coming with a group and then they want to go someplace but they have nothing to offer you. So everyone kind of, has to compromise because of one person, which can be really tough. Like, it can be really a struggle. And I know back in the day, I would never do it now because I actually know how much damage you're doing without even realizing you're doing it. I'd go, oh, it's okay. I might be okay, but your health is just way, way too important for that to say it might be okay, because you need health. Health is important in all aspects.
Yeah. So one of the things that's just popping to me is the fact that people quite often, when they have these sorts of things, when they're invited out, like to celebrate with people, say no because they're bothered about, being a fly in the ointment or whatever, if you like. Yeah. So what can you say to them, carrying on from what you were just saying, as a support thing now, so that they feel that they can actually do things like that?
Yeah. So if you're going out to somewhere that you're out of control, if it's a restaurant or a cafe or a place, then you can you ring ahead, ask them if they can make something specific for you, or if not, ask if you can bring something that would help that meal along, so that it's safe for you. If you're going to friends' parties, I always bring my own plate, and everyone will eat my stuff because it's delicious. Just because it doesn't have gluten doesn't mean it has to be inferior to everyone else's. So you just need to embrace it. My husband's the cook in our household. He's actually a chef, so he has come up with amazing food for me. But he'll always cook mine first. So I'm not a drag, because I put my food on the barbecue first, and then everyone else gets theirs afterwards. So there's no cross-contamination for me. It's really, I think people might put more emphasis on it being a problem, but as long as you understand that your health is important. If it was, for example, a peanut allergy, that's important. Everyone would stop and listen to a peanut allergy because that's important. But this is important as well. Like, it is just as important. You can't see a reaction like you can with anaphylaxis, but it's happening inside. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean that it's not happening.
And that's a very important point in regards to self-care, because people often put themselves in jeopardy to fit in, and actually everything is to be embraced about who you are, because everything, yeah.
And if people who find that to be a burden, then maybe you need to find people who don't find that to be a burden. Because all my friends go above and beyond for me. They ring me, they send me photos. If they're catering for me, I might get sent, 5 different photos of products. Can you have this? Is this safe? You just need to surround yourself with those people who love you, because they value your health just as much as you should.
Yeah, absolutely. And as well, it's how you care for yourself that kind of brings to you the people that care for you. So the more you care for you, the more people in your life will care for you. Absolutely. So it's important to just embrace everything, because everything has its pearls in it. Everything has its little beauty points that it can
look for it.
Yeah, if you can find them. Yeah, absolutely. Everything does.
Yeah.
So what have those pearls and beauty from the from having celiacs. What are those points for you, just to give some guidelines as to what other people can look for to enjoy out of it?
Yeah, I think with that whole sentence of with knowledge is power, when you know about your disease, when you actually realize the significance, when you arm yourself with information on how you can help yourself and how you can educate your family, your friends, that is a bit of a, I don't know, empowerment, I suppose. But I've also, for me personally, I've met some amazing people being in a support group. So I'm one of the admin in a support group. I've met amazing people, and I've actually helped so many people that have just been given so much information that's incorrect, and they've been really scared to kind of live life, but just with a little bit more knowledge and power, they've, you know, taken that on board. And like I said, they've found the good out of the bad, because it's just, like I said, it's just avoiding a protein in a grain. There's so many other things in the world that other people are dealing with that it's very small. It's a very small change to make in your life to be healthy and happy.
Yeah. And just so people understand the difference that it makes, can you explain how you were before you discovered it, how you were, and then how you are now, so people know the difference and the importance of food in their health and vitality?
Absolutely. So I've gone through 2 stages. When I first was diagnosed, I was so sick through school that I'd get by the end of the afternoon, I couldn't function. I was so tired. I was feeling in so much pain that I'd have to leave school early. And then because I couldn't eat all day because I'd been so sick, I'd start to feel better. And then I'd eat something that had gluten in it, obviously, because I didn't know, which would start the cycle around and around and around and again. So when I finally got diagnosed, just to actually be able to finish school for the day was crazy. Like, I had energy. There's some people, and I had this when I was pregnant with my daughter. I kind of went through a bit of a remission, so I let it back into my diet. So this is the most recent and one that sticks into my brain. I probably started consuming it for about 6 months, and you know, this is why I can talk from experience when you say it. Just because you don't know the symptoms and you can't feel the symptoms, it's not doing you damage. So I was out for weeks. I couldn't even get off the bed. I was so sick. I couldn't eat. I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. I'd just done so much damage to my body for not listening to it. And now I have so much energy. I feel good. Like I said, I CrossFit almost every day. I go to uni. I have 2 kids. I have a husband, and I have energy to do it all. And I feel really good. I mean, I'm probably, for my age, I don't even feel my age. I feel so much younger, and I've got so much life to give and to live.
Yeah, awesome. Because there is ways to find out, isn't there, how old your body is inside. Yeah, and it's quite shocking. I've heard of 25-year-olds even with internally aged as 53, you know. And it's because of what they're eating. So, and of course there's those that are doing what is right for them, like you are, and you can be as however old you are and have an internal workings of at least 10-15 years younger. And that's obviously where you're at, because you've got really fresh look about you. You look awake, you look full of life. And it's because you care for what you put in your body.
And you can reverse it too. Like you know, I'd done so much damage, but now it took a while, but you know, you can reverse anything that you think, oh, I've gone too far. You haven't. You can turn it around. Your body is amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
And as you say, the digestion and the brain are interconnected really with each other. So the ability of rejuvenation is always always there. And yeah, it may take a few years, but it is happening. Once you start doing it right, it is happening, and it's all about perseverance. No matter what it needs to repair, it's about perseverance and
absolutely
just keep going and believing in the repair of it. Yeah.
And be positive that you know that you are doing the right thing, you are on the right track, you will get there.
Yeah.
You will see the difference. It will happen.
Yeah. So I'm just going to ask you now, is there any specific message that you feel that you want to put out that is really kind of there that you haven't given already, that for the people to learn from you about?
I think, well, yeah, so preventing something from happening before it starts. If you've got the knowledge, if you can get the knowledge before something goes further than it needs to be, just prevention. It comes back to even just the the way society is at the moment too. If we can get on board before it goes too far, because then it might seem out of reach. But if we can, get something on happening now, and then work on it now, it's going to be easier to hold and control, and you have more onus of it now. And we focus on now, not later.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Everything is now, and if you have any kind of extreme tiredness or anything that is stopping you from functioning, I would say that diet and nutrition are key areas to look at first and foremost for anything else. Yeah,
absolutely, definitely.
Yeah. At this stage, as Storm said earlier, she can assist you with celiac disease, because that's where her knowledge and awareness is, and she can be a support system for you. Everybody else can queue up for a year time when she's qualified. And,
general advice on what's healthy, what a healthy diet looks like. I can help with that. I can definitely guide you in the right direction. I just can't be specific. I'm just limited and restricted right now. As much as I don't want to be, I can't. I'm just.
Yeah, because you need to have that certification first.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you obviously want the support and general advice right now, then Storm will be happy to hear from you.
Absolutely.
And you can connect with her through the website. It's atoughworldoutthere.com. If there's anything else that you wish to say, Storm, before we sign off? No, you can. If you've finished with, because you gave all the valuable information in there. It's all, I can't stress enough, and Storm can't stress enough, the importance of the foods that you put in your body. It all begins in your mouth, and how it goes from there is down to the level of food that you put in. And I'm sure Storm would agree, go organic or grow your own.
Yes. If you have the opportunity, absolutely do that.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Storm, for being with us today and giving so much value to so many people. As we've already said, celiac is actually an increasing condition, and it's more out there than people realize. So your showing up here is highly valuable. So thank you very much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.